right, welcome back, and this is entertainment news. And today on the show, I've got a beautiful OAP and entertainment enthusiast, Evelyn.
Hi guys! I'm so excited to be here. I thought you were going to give me like this very grand intro,
okay,
with fireworks and drum rolls, you know, everybody hailing and stuff like that.
Okay, the fireworks. Score me. Just hold on, maybe at the outro we'll do it, right?
Okay.
Great to have you. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good.
Okay, so what's our first story today?
All right, I'm sure it was mentioned to you that the premiere of the Royal Hibiscus Hotel was going to premiere in the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
And yes, it has finally happened, and I'm really excited about it. Now, the movie premiered yesterday with the cast and crew and everybody in attendance, and yeah, Mo Abudu was there. Mo Abudu, who is the producer.
Okay.
I must say a very big congratulations to her. I mean, she's doing really good. You know, this is her third movie being premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
Now, first off, we had 50 the movie, a lot of hype. Yay!
Did you like that movie?
Why do you have to do that? No, really. Well, it was. You know the thing about okay, I must say, Ebony Film Production.
Yeah.
The fact that they're very good with publicity.
Okay.
Like, they make you expect the movie, and what that does is that it takes you there.
All right.
And the thing is, does the movie actually take you there? Publicity takes you there, so
I think with the second one, Wedding Party, it did. But then for Royal Hibiscus Hotel, how has what has been people that saw the premiere? What has been their take on it?
Well, we cannot actually say what the review for the movie, but we are hoping for great reviews and hopefully a win for the Nigerian film. But really,
great one, great one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have up next?
All right, let's move away. We'll be moving away from movie to comedy, and Basket Mouth has become the first ever Pan-African Comic of the Year at the Savannah Comics Choice Awards. Now, comedian Basket Mouth has become the first comedian ever to win the Pan-African Comic of the Year award. This award was presented to him at the Savannah Comics Choice Award, which added in the category this year. Now, it's amazing that this is the first time they're actually adding this to the category. And a Nigerian won the award. I'm really excited about this one.
It's big. I mean, considering that it's in South Africa,
yeah,
they have some very tush comedians there. They have Trevor Noah, who's leading the light and all of that. They have that and all of that. So I think it's quite big, you know, for Basket Mouth and for Nigeria. It's quite a very big one.
You know, I mean, comedy in Nigeria has just moved forward and forward. We have gone beyond stand-up comedy. Now you see skits, you see movies, and I mean, look at AY. AY is making big hits with comedy in Nigeria. It's really amazing. I mean, it's one of those things that would actually make you say, I'm proud to be Nigerian.
Proud to be Nigerian. Basket Mouth repping us, flying the flag high.
Doing really good.
Okay, cool one, Basket Mouth. And then, all right, we have something interesting, foreign stories, right?
I know. I'd actually say these people should actually get married. They say no, really, because they say if the woman you're dating doesn't get on your last nerve, then she's not the woman for you. Okay. Now, Kanye West and Jay-Z reportedly planning face-to-face meeting. According to reports, Kanye West has requested a meet-up with Jay-Z to settle their ongoing feud. Now, remember a few weeks ago, Jay-Z explained their issues and said that the issues they had were personal and not financial. Yeah. But you know what? This, like I said before, this people should be dating. They've had this I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you kind of relationship going on for a very long time. As in dating back from the 1990s when Kanye West was working with Rockefeller label, and it went on to when a lot of people were saying Jay-Z was reluctant to signing him into Rockefeller. Yeah. And it went on to when the title was put out there, and Kanye West went, oh yeah, it's here, I'm really excited about it. A few months later, he's saying, okay, I want my songs out of there, they're owing me, and it's just really rocky. But right now, it went to a level where Jay-Z got really upset because he didn't just have this fight with Jay-Z, he mentioned Beyonce and Blue Ivy.
And Blue Ivy, that was where the guy got pissed off.
He actually mentioned, Jay-Z actually mentioned that, yeah, we've had issues over time, yeah, but this time around, it's not going to. I'm not going to just let it go easy because
I won't let it slide.
Yeah, because you brought my family into it, and so he was not really excited about it.
You know, I wanted to ask what part Kim Kardashian and Beyonce play, but you just explained that now. The family has a big role because, you know, there's always been that thing of Kim not being talented and Beyonce, she's the queen of talent. Everybody knows everything about her.
But I think this is really funny because we would expect this kind of fight between the ladies.
Yeah, and not the guys, right?
I mean, if the guys want to do this, give us rap music. I mean, diss him in a rap song. Well, they've been doing that, but I think I need more, you know, so we can actually listen and listen to the lyrics of the song.
You want to set some fire now that you can't quench.
No.
Okay, all right, so let's move on.
Finally, we are moving on to Ramsey Nouah now. He says fans see him as an ATM. Actor reveals frequent requests for money from fans and admirers has caused a lot of discomfort to the actor. Now, in a recent interview, Ramsey Nouah stated that while he was extremely grateful for all that fame had brought him, he wasn't too fond of fans constantly demanding monetary favors from him. He said fans now see him as an ATM, and this has made him apprehensive when meeting fans. As when they greet him, it's usually followed by a request for money. You know that thing where you say,
exactly.
Baba, you're looking good. You know, after that, I said, oh, you know, so something's supposed to drop now. You know,
what do you think about it? Does that make celebrities and over public figures, you know, he said he is apprehensive.
Yeah.
You know, now they now fight to live up to standards. We've even heard stories of celebrities being beaten up when they could not give some egunje or something like that.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but it's a win-win situation. I'm saying this because celebrities actually ask fans for money too. You know, you've seen situations where there's a health challenge. I mean, who comes to your rescue? I can remember I have actually done that. No, but it's true. I'm not saying that it's wrong. What Ramsey Nouah said is wrong, but I'm just trying to say that you do it, I do it, so we're fine. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's quite cool. That's quite cool. It was great having you. Thank you so very much. That was quite some insight. All right. Okay, so it's still Wake Up Nigeria. We'll go over to Yomi. What do you have for us there?
All right. So with the economic, we have an economic expert joining us this morning. Nigeria's got the news that the country is out of recession. Data on the country's GDP, gross domestic product, as released by the National Bureau of Statistics, show that the economy grew by 0.55% in the second quarter of 2017. Nigerians are eager to begin to feel the effects of this news in their pockets, but it doesn't look like it's happening yet. And Bimbo Asegbe went to several markets in Lagos to feel the pulse of Nigerians on this. Let's take a look at this package.
For the most of last year and some of this year, Nigeria was in a recession that only just ended. And there is no better way to find out how the end of this recession is taking a toll on the crash in the prices of basic needs and services than to find out from the people who actually make use of these needs and services. Hello, sir.
Hello.
The prices of the basic goods and services that you need for day-to-day life, are they reducing or they're still as high as when the recession was?
Definitely, they are still at the same normal price, and we don't expect them to come down low sporadically like that. It's going to take time.
You know the normal Nigerian trend, anything that goes up never comes down. That is the truth. Even when the recession is no longer taking a toll.
Before the recession, like 200 amps battery inverter, we usually buy from the company for 41,500. But immediately the price just hiked from 41,500 to 90,000. Presently now you get it for 110, 120, depending on the products that you want to buy.
It will take a little bit of time before we start to see the reflection on the prices of goods and services in the country. So it's not going to be an immediate thing. It's a gradual thing because the recession did not come at once. It comes gradually. So definitely it's going to ease gradually.
If they are saying the recession is over, it's a lie. Because we are still buying what we are buying at the high price of that time, at the time of then. And you know, I'm expecting if the recession is still going, they should increase salaries. So there's no salary increment and the recession is still going on.
All right, there. So we've gotten quite interesting variations of opinion, but that's just one bit of it. Right now we're we're about to go into the market to find out from sellers of various products exactly what the situation is on that end.
This one is the China one. It's not the original one, but it's 2.5 we used to bought it. But before it's 1.2. Now it's 2.5. Last price.
And now, even the recession has ended. It's
the same thing and it's the same thing.
That is a small phone. This one that you're showing me is a small phone. How about the smartphones?
The Android.
Yeah, the Android that everybody wants to use.
Yeah, this one now is a smartphone. It's an Android for a cool pad. This one I used to buy it on 8,000. Tested okay, working per bed now. It's 12,000, 10,000, 10,500. Our customers used to complain, but we told them, say, it's not our fault, and we're not importers. You see, I sell it here. And so the importers, they sell it to us, we sell a higher price. We see, thank God, you are Nigerians, and any situation we find ourselves, we have the strength to accommodate on it.
Okay. So the government has told us now that the recession has ended. But I want to find out, is it reflecting in the prices of your products? Is it dropping?
It's not reflecting. For now, we did not see any reflection. Everything still be as it be.
All this thing, banana, the same thing. Nothing go down at all, at all. See, like avocado pear now. We used to buy a bag of it on 3,000, 4,000. Now, 12,000, 15,000. So nothing cheap at all, at all.
Even you that you're a trader, I'm sure that sometimes you need to move around, transport, even the food that you buy to eat yourself, your clothes. Has there been any changes in?
There is nothing changed. There is nothing changed. For example, now crayfish now is the time you're supposed to be eating crayfish well, but now it's very high. When you go market now to buy crayfish, before you price, before next week you will hear that it costs. So every day things are going higher. Nothing that is reducing.
Okay, it doesn't seem like we're going to hear anything different from all the opinion that we've gotten today. The information stays the same. Like the recession might have ended, but there is no drop in the prices of goods and services for now.
All right, so we're going to be taking some explanations on this recession in a few minutes. But before then, let's check out what's going on in the kitchen with Mary and Tolu.
Well, a lot has been going on. So far, so good. The chef has been trying her best to get the whole mixture ready. Yeah. So let's just quickly see how this is done.
So basically, we're piping it on our sheet. We're going to the oven. I'm just going to fill this one back up, and there. Okay. There you have it.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all.
There's
so
space there.
Yes.
It's never too much.
So at this point, we're going to get water because we don't want the top to burn. So we need to avoid all these stiff peaks.
Okay.
So we put our finger in water and we just go over it so it doesn't burn.
Okay.
So once this is done, we'll put it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees to 200 degrees, and it's ready.
Okay.
So Mary, you're going to help me with the oven.
How many minutes altogether?
That's it.
Just that long?
Yeah, just that long. It depends on your oven, as I always say. Always depend on your oven. Mary, I need your help.
Okay, I'm going to help you. But first, let me let you know that this is Wake Up Nigeria. We're going on a break now, after which, of course, we'll reach out to Yomi.
Welcome back. Now, earlier on, we took a package about the recession and what we felt the pulse of Nigerians and what they thought about the effects of the recession and whether it's working out for them. Now, to help us understand this concept is Mr. Bisi Iyaniwura, who's joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we hear all these statistics and all these terms about the GDP, about the contraction of the economy, and we really don't understand what they mean. So, but let's start from the definition of recession itself and what it means to the average individual.
Well, I think I want to look at the definition from two perspectives, the technical perspective and the pocket perspective.
Yes.
Okay. You see, the technical perspective is a negative when the GDP means the gross domestic product, that means the totality of all the goods and services that are produced in the country, has a negative growth for consecutive 4 quarters, then the country is said to have gone into recession. Now, the effect of recession is the pocket recession. It means that unemployment will go up. It means that the value of the money you have in your pocket will reduce. That means you can purchase less with the same amount of money. It means that interest rates will go up. So to the poor man or to the man on the street, recession is that he is not able to buy the same thing he's buying before for the same amount of money. He's not being able to buy less. So that technically is the street man definition of recession. The economy is no longer performing as and how it used to perform. So the GDP and all those ones is more of a technical definition for those who went to the university.
All right. Okay, so if we're talking about the effects of the recession now and the fact that the federal government has told Nigerians that, oh, good news, we're out of the recession, we've grown marginally by 0.55%, and so we're making progress. But people aren't feeling it in their pockets. What are the things that we should start looking out for if we're saying that we're out of recession?
I think basically the federal government is being too optimistic about us being out of recession. That's the truth of it. If it took us 4 quarters to go into recession, any quote-unquote reasonable bystander will also expect a sustainable growth.
Over 4 quarters?
Not even up to 4 quarters for us to be able to say, yes, we have crossed the river. You see, it is like somebody who has malaria and you've done your drugs and you think you are ill and healthy. You could have a relapse. Particularly if you look at the statistics, what were the growth factors that brought us out of recession? Are they sustainable development? What the MBS said is that it is majorly driven by increase in oil price and our oil exports.
Yeah, so basically the country is making more money.
Yes, from oil exports.
Individuals are not necessarily making
more
money.
It means that the real sector of the economy, which actually ought to drive the economy, are not the basis for the calculation. The real sector, like manufacturing, has not gone up. That is what the statistics is saying. It is because oil price is gone up, and then Nigeria is exporting more oil. And at any point in time, you can have the reverse. Oil price is going up because of political turmoil all over the world. The Korea-American issue, the Iraq and all these ones, they are there. So if by whatever means there is a spike, the price of oil could go up and we could have a relapse, just like we have in malaria. So the problem is actually, like I said, the government is being over-optimistic. Thank God we are technically. That's actually why the government is also cautious. They use the term technically, which means that it could actually also bring a relapse. So the government has not said we are fully out of recession. It said we are technically out of recession. So let's take it that they were being economical with the use of word and language.
So how does the increase in oil price around the world and the fact that we're earning more foreign exchange, how does that trickle down to the average business and the real sector?
Yes, you see, the GDP for Nigeria, the GDP is calculated on, like I said, goods and services produced in the country.
By average small businesses and the rest?
No, I'll come to average. Yes, on a macroeconomic, we have come out of recession because we are exporting more quantity of oil at an higher price. That is also why our foreign reserve has been able to go up, because we are selling more oil and earning more dollars. But as that wilted down to the common man, I will expect that if we are exporting more oil, both in terms of naira and volume, the exchange rate of the naira vis-a-vis the other currencies should by now have come down a little, so as to reflect on the average consumer price index. But we are not saying that. In fact, as of yesterday, the naira was still going down against the greenback. So we want to ask ourselves, what is the effect of us selling more at an higher price, having a larger foreign reserve, when it is not trickling down? Yes, it may actually be a strategy, because I advocated some 2-3 years ago that the government must actually take a very strategic position on local content. You see, until we start developing our real local sector, we're still going to be running into this kind of situation. Agric, just a moment. Yes, the government has said we should go into agric, but you find out that the agro-processing sector of the economy is not growing.
So do we need investments from from the foreign exchange that we're now getting, do we need to reinvest in the real sector? Is that what you're saying? That we
yes, what I'm saying is that the government must have a deliberate economic policy to reinvest in the real sector of the economy, in the local sector of the economy. You see, the government has the local content policy, which is basically for the oil industry. What I'm actually advocating is that it must be an all-encompassing local content thing. We cannot keep exporting cocoa beans and importing chocolate. It doesn't make sense. We are the largest producer of cassava in the world, but we cannot play in the national market. Why? Because our cost of production
is too high.
It's too high. So we must start developing all these things so that there will be employment. You see, some of the characteristics of recession is that high unemployment, interest rate is high, exchange rate is high. So until we have an actual reversal of all these ones, we cannot be said to have been out of recession. Unemployment is still as high as anything. Interest rate is still very high. Inflation is still very high. So until there is a sustained ability of the government to manage these three crucial elements, we cannot be said to be out of recession because those are the drivers of the economy. If interest rate is high, the real sector cannot grow. People cannot borrow money.
Because they can't access.
Yeah, people cannot borrow money.
Yeah.
If interest rate is going close to 30%, what business do you want to do except you are in drugs?
Yes. So I know, Mr. Yanura, economists don't really like making predictions, especially if it goes wrong. Yeah. But what do you think will happen in the next few months? When do you think that we can confidently now say that, look, we are definitely out of recession and the average man is feeling it on the street?
Well, normally it takes an average of about 2 years before you feel the impact of exiting a recession.
So 2 years from now?
That is actually, quote and unquote, dependent on the strategy of even the government to sustain the growth in the economy. Just like I have said, look, you will never experience the advantage of exiting a recession economy if interest rate is still high, if inflation is still high, if unemployment is still high. So we want to see what strategy the government has to manage these three crucial issues before we can even start talking about when do we feel the impact. Somebody has been a graduate for the past 5 years. He's not sure of getting a job in the next 1 year. You cannot be talking about exiting recession to him. The only way he wants to feel that he has exited recession is there's the possibility of his getting a job. I'm a businessman. I want to approach my bank and be able to get interest at a single digit. That is when I will know we are out of recession. As an importer, I want to be able to buy my goods, which are maybe raw materials from my factory, at a reasonable exchange rate. You see, a lot of companies now have high stock rates. They have unsold commodities. Why? Because the consumer confidence is very low in the economy. That is part of the effect of recession. Everybody is holding on to money, keeping money because you don't know what tomorrow holds. So the ability of the government to actually manage these three crucial items will determine how early and how soon the average person will feel the exit in his pocket.
Wow. Thank you so much. We've been talking with economist Mr. BC Yanura. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that a few people have learned some of the things that you taught us this morning.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to go on a break now, and after that, we have lots of interesting stuff coming your way on Wake Up Nigeria this morning.